Fatal Frame 2 was released in Japan on November 27, 2003. Slogans to promote the game stated that no matter how deep your bonds are, you can't escape from this tragedy, which pretty much sums the game up. The game went on to greatly outsell its predecessor, and for many fans, is the best in the entire series. Just like with Fatal Frame 1, today we're going to take a look at just the opening cinematic and compare how the script may or may not have changed when it was localized into English.
Didn't we always promise each other that we would always be together?
Instantly, we get our hook and an introduction to what will be the running theme throughout the game. Didn't we always promise each other that we would always be together? Unless you've already read information about the game beforehand, you're given no hint as to who is saying this. The Japanese, however, lets you in on a little more information right from the start.
お姉ちゃん、いつも約束してたよね。ずっと一緒だって。
The very first word we hear in the Japanese opening is "お姉ちゃん", meaning big sister. This plays a huge role in the game, but we won't be getting into any spoilers here. This "お姉ちゃん" is followed by いつも約束してたよね. We always promised, didn't we? ずっと一緒だって. That we would be together forever. The English is a little clunky to fit the scene chops, but in essence we get big sister. We always promised each other, right? That we'd be together forever. A minor change, but more forthcoming with information about what's coming up. Now we're getting into the hints of a dark past that will drive the game. A girl named Mayu seems to be lost in a forest, and another girl is looking for her. While the English introduces us to her name, Mayu, it's interesting to note that the Japanese opening never once refers to Mayu by her name. Here we can see her being called "お姉ちゃん" again, big sister. ごめんなさい, of course, meaning I'm sorry, which remains exactly the same.
I used to play here all the time. Yeah. All of this will be gone soon.
We're introduced to the twin protagonists of the game finally, in the present time. We get more hints of the plot with the promise that soon the forest will be gone. Why? Well, you find out more about that in game, but let's take a look at the Japanese.
よくここで遊んだよね。そうだね。ここももうすぐなくなっちゃうんだよね。
Again, this is nearly word for word, but one tiny nuance. よくここで遊んだよね. We used to play here a lot, right? そうだね. Yeah, that's right. ここももうすぐなくなっちゃうんだよね. Here we can see that Mio says ここも. The English tells us that all of this will be gone soon. The Japanese tells us, soon here, this place, is also going to disappear. Koko mo. Here, as well. It's a tiny difference, but she's alluding to the fact that it's not just this place that's getting torn down for construction, as Japan was booming its way through the 80s, but many other places are as well. And this one, which is special to their childhood, will soon join that list.
Is your leg okay? Does it hurt? It does a little, but I'm fine. Mio? Yes? Never mind.
Here we find out that Mayu apparently hurt her leg in the opening flashbacks, and it still hurts a little, but she's fine. Or a bad liar. Either way.
Yes? 足大丈夫？痛くない？ちょっとね。でも平気。ねえ、ミオ。ん？なんでもない。
This is a near straight translation. Is your leg okay? It doesn't hurt? Just a little, but I'm fine. Mayu calls out to Mio with ne, being how you catch someone's attention as you're about to talk to them or change the topic. But in the end, she concludes with nandemonai. Literally, it's nothing. Hey Mio. Yeah? It's nothing. We have more of a reveal from the flashbacks. We see Mio running off, leaving Mayu behind, but she slips and falls down the cliff. In the Japanese, Mio instead calls out for One-chan to hayaku, hayaku. This literally means hurry, hurry. Mayu then replies, Mio, onegai, oite kanaide. This is the same as the English version. Mio, please, don't leave me behind.
Mayu, about that time back then. Mayu?
Mio now decides it's time to drop some kind of truth bomb on her older sister. But Mayu isn't having any of it and wanders off after a butterfly. Because that's pretty much what she does.
お姉ちゃん、私ね、あの時。お姉ちゃん？お姉ちゃん
！Again, there's not too much to the script at this point, so there's not much difference. Mio broaches the subject with watashi ne, a common way to start talking about how you feel about something or your thoughts on something. Here are my thoughts on this topic, so please listen. It's followed up with the equally vague anotoki, literally that time. It's incredibly broken Japanese to try and translate into English. You would end up with something like, me, yeah, that time. It doesn't work. The meaning is very straightforward though. Big sister, about that time, But One-chan is already chasing a butterfly, so it'll have to wait.
Where are you going? No, stop! Wait! Mayu! Mayu?
Mio gets some pretty disturbing visions as she chases off after her sister. And this brings us to the start of the game with a hell of a lot of mysteries on our hands.
どうしたの？行っちゃダメ！お姉ちゃん。お姉ちゃん。
Still not a Mayu in sight, but plenty of One-chan. In the English version, Mio screams, "Where are you going?" The Japanese gives us "Doushita no?" which is more like, "What's wrong?" One-chan ran off chasing a butterfly and isn't heeding her calls, so she calls out, "What's wrong?" Makes a little more sense considering the situation, but not a huge difference by any means. She follows that up with, "No, stop, wait." Or in Japanese, the much simpler, "Icha dame." Literally, you mustn't go. It's a command. Don't go. You can't go because of reasons that are bad. You must not go. All in all, the Fatal Frame 2 opening isn't very heavy on script, but there are again a few tiny nuances that are lost in translation, such as Mio referring to Mayu constantly as One-chan, and the implication that the forest they played in as kids is just another in a long line of deforestation to prop up Japan's industries. I had some people ask me in the last video whether I prefer the English or Japanese voice acting for these games, and I most definitely prefer the Japanese. The quality in terms of acting is much better, and the games are set in Japan, so it's just more natural to me. I've certainly heard worse English voice acting in games before, but given a choice, I would play these with Japanese voices every time. And that brings us to the end of this video. The Fatal Frame 3 comparison will also be coming soon, so keep an eye out. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.